Hi there. I am Mary Kate Guenette, and this is my teacher work sample project on the sun and stars. I was at Connerton Elementary School in a third grade general education classroom. Some key things to realize about Connerton Elementary School is that it is a suburban school in central Pasco. It's a regular public school, so kids that are zoned for this school go here. There is a lot of parent support due to the socioeconomic area. This project was conducted during the science block of their day, which was right before lunch. The purpose was to prepare students to take their science quarterly and then to obviously collect relevant data to show how we can help them succeed over time. Here are the contextual factors of the classroom, the racial and ethnic backgrounds of my kids in the class. So we have 78% white, 10% African American, and then 12% Hispanic. Here are the learning goals and objectives. So students will be able to determine characteristics of the sun, identify the sun as a star that emits energy, and demonstrate knowledge of light and heat energy with 80% accuracy. So that was sort of my main objective, and then I had specific days and lesson plans each day that had different activities. So as you can see, the 10 different objectives show and kind of relate back to my main learning goal, which was to establish knowledge of the sun as a star and that its energy is important and vital for life on Earth. My design of instruction was a pre-assessment quiz that was actually the quarterly science exam for Pasco County. So I used that, and then I instructed my lessons around sort of what they needed to know for this quarterly exam. So I did that, and then I had reading material that was related to the topic. So there was 3 different reading articles that the kids received based on their ERLA level, and it was all related to the topic and it tied back to the standard. So I had that, which then the information that they read was created into a poster so that they could learn and kind of memorize facts about the sun and the characteristics of the sun. And I used those posters to do a gallery walk so that all the students could experience and get knowledge from each different article. One of my last things that I did was an informative essay about information about the sun and the stars. So our kids were struggling with writing as well as science, so I decided to do some cross-curricular things, as in trying to kind of incorporate reading and science in the same genre. And then the post-assessment was identical to the pre-assessment, and all of my kids showed growth with the pre-assessment. The instructional delivery and decision making was next. So the delivery of the lessons were the reading of the articles, the creating the poster board for the gallery walk, the informative essay creation, and then also I did kind of like a peer review and self-assessment after each lesson to kind of gauge where my students were at. And then this also included a daily ticket out the door to monitor their progress and for them to self-check and determine where they were. Intervention groups were created based on daily data that I collected. So those ticket out the doors were used, and each assignment was used to help determine if that child or student was on pace with the rest of everyone. And then also, when I realized on lesson 5 that I was a little bit behind and the kids weren't getting it, then I decided to slow the pace down. And then that in turn made me have to recreate lessons 6 through 10 based on the progress that the kids already had. So based on the data, all of my students had growth. It was all positive. There was an increase in every grade unless that student scored a 100% the first time that they took it. So all other students made growth. The small group remediation for those students who scored 50% or below, all of their test scores increased after the 10-day unit. with the exception of one or two of my ESE students who still were struggling and required further remediation after the TWS was finished. So my conclusion basically is that all of my students showed growth. In my self-reflection, some things that I really want to work on are differentiation for every student. So it was easy for me to differentiate based on their IEP goals. However, I didn't feel that the differentiation that I had in place really was related to every student. And I feel like the universal design for instruction should be every kid should benefit from accommodations and remediation. So that's one thing that I want to work on. And also being prepared and a little bit more organized with tracking data. It was really hard in the end trying to figure out where I had put things and how I should have better organized data so that it was easier for me to read. And other than that, I think that's it.